Buenos días a todas y todos en Indonesia y buenas noches en México. Con motivo del Día Internacional de la Eliminación de la Violencia contra la Mujer, es para mí un honor darles la bienvenida a la segunda edición de la Semana de Atención e Información a la Mujer en el Exterior, un programa anual enfocado a las mujeres mexicanas que viven fuera de México, el cual se ha llevado a cabo por el Instituto de los Mexicanos en el Exterior durante los últimos 2 años. Dicha semana tiene como propósito atender, informar, vincular y crear redes de apoyo entre las mujeres que viven en el exterior, fomentando la sororidad, la perspectiva, interseccionalidad y transversalidad de género entre las comunidades mexicanas a través de este programa. En la edición de este año nos enfocaremos en el tema de los desafíos y las oportunidades para las mujeres extranjeras e indonesias en el establecimiento de una empresa en Indonesia, así como motivar a las mujeres mexicanas emprendedoras residentes en este país. Quisiera expresar mi sincero agradecimiento a Dewi Noviyanti, una abogada indonesia con una amplia experiencia de más de 20 años en el campo de los servicios legales, quien será nuestra ponente hoy y compartirá con nosotros su conocimiento sobre el contexto de las mujeres emprendedoras en Indonesia, así como su experiencia en el establecimiento de empresas en este país. Gracias por acompañarnos esta mañana. Espero que sea una gran oportunidad de intercambio de conocimientos y una fuente de inspiración para las mujeres mexicanas en Indonesia.
Muchas gracias, embajador. Ahora presentaré a nuestra ponente. Now allow me to introduce to our speaker, Dewi Noviyanti, ASH-LLM. Dewi has experience in the field of legal services for more than 20 years. She advises the Indonesian legal and commercial aspects of foreign and domestic investment, franchising, structuring, and drafting joint venture, corporate and corporate transaction documentation, and corporate restructuring. She also has more than 15 years of working experience in areas of gender equity and social inclusion under numerous international organizations. Dewi, the floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Liz. Thank you very much, Ambassador of Mexico in Indonesia. I'm very happy to be here this morning with all of you in this event. First of all, I would like to congratulate for International Human Rights Day very soon this month. So I believe this event is there is some correlation with that Human Rights Day soon in this month. So let me show you some slides concerning the topic this morning. As Liz mentioned, myself is managing partner under Noviyanti and Partners law firm, but at the same time, actually, I'm a social scientist. I have a background and also a lengthy experience working in the area of gender equity as well for international organization. So I'm very happy to be here to present the legal aspect and also gender aspect a little bit in the context of how international foreigners to establish a business in Indonesia. So the topic this morning is establishing business for foreign women in Indonesia. So I would like to give some slides and presentation on some topics in this area. First of all, I would like to highlight some challenges faced by women entrepreneurs in Indonesia. Women entrepreneur as the foreigners and also national in Indonesia. And then secondly, I would like to explain a little bit about the context or knowledge on the business available the current law in Indonesia. And then the third one is what things to prepare in order to establish a business entity in Indonesia. And also things to consider yeah, some challenges and rules, yeah, in order to establish highlight some challenges faced by women's entrepreneurs in Indonesia. So I don't have intention to scare you on this topic, but I would like to highlight that first of all, there are some challenges if you would like to establish a women's businesses in Indonesia. First is there are some legal requirements and bureaucracy that we have to face, first of all. And then secondly, access to capital and loan options. Yeah, when we establish a company, I believe that we need some capital modality and also loan needs, yeah, to continue our businesses. The third one is the local business knowledge, yeah, the specific local business knowledge in Indonesia with some social and cultural background and also and policy background and also bureaucracy. And the time commitment, yeah, you know, women across the globe have very specific and real challenges, which is the household domestic duties and businesses. Yeah, we have to take care of family, we have to take care of our children, we have to take care of the parents and so on. And then lack of support system or little economic decision-making power, yeah. In Indonesia, according to the law, the head of the family is the husband. Maybe it also applied across the globe. But then this become a very strong challenges for women in Indonesia. And I believe similar issue will be faced by women entrepreneur coming from outside of Indonesia. And then lastly is the issue of collateral fixed asset that often under spouse's name or under the husband's name or the brothers in the family, yeah, so that women usually lack of access to fixed asset. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two types of foreign businesses or legal entity in Indonesia. First of all, we can establish a representative office. Yeah, representative office meaning that we can have the desk, a business desk in Indonesia, but we cannot do the business. The objective of representative office is to do the research, yeah, in order for us to understand the challenges of the businesses in Indonesia, and we would like to strengthen the objective of our businesses so that many of our clients here, when they would like to establish a business, they will begin by establishing a representative office rather than a limited liability company. Yeah, limited liability company, own company known as PT PMA or foreign owned company. Yeah, this is the only legal entity allowed by Indonesian regulation and policy for foreigners who would like to establish and run the business in Indonesia. Next is what things to prepare. Yeah, first of all, we have to prepare legal. Those who would like to establish a business should possess these personal legal documents to establish a business in Indonesia. What are they? First is the KITAS investor. KITAS is like the license, yeah, in order to stay in Indonesia and to be the businesses or to be the business person or to be the investor in Indonesia. Next, of course, the tax ID, yeah, the passport and also a bank account. Business partner is also should be prepared. PT PMA needs to have at least 2 members, yeah, according to the law, a director and a commissioner. Yeah. Each being either an individual or a legal entity with minimum 1 foreigner and the other partner could be local. So there should be a local partner if you would like to establish a company in Indonesia. What are things to consider? There are essential elements to consider when establishing a foreign-owned company in Indonesia to ensure successful establishment processes. First is the minimum capital amount. I believe this is quite high for the beginners who would like to establish a business in Indonesia, because there is a requirement to fulfill the minimum paid-up capital, which is 10 billion rupiah, or around 1 million or 800,000 US dollar, which then followed by capital statement later by the shareholder. Another thing that we have to consider that the negative investment list. Yeah, so we have to remember that not all the businesses could be established here in Indonesia. There are some negative investment lists that are prohibited to be happen in Indonesia as a foreigner businesses. So there are business sector that are open, prohibited, or limited for foreign investment. The business structure. The structure consists of shareholders, board of commissioners, and board of directors. And PT PMA will also require a minimum of commissioner and 1 director. As I mentioned earlier, PT PMA or foreigners doing business in Indonesia need a local partner here. So you have to decide which business sectors you want to invest. That first thing first, yeah. Because here we have what's so-called KBLI, or the Indonesian Standard Business Classification, yeah. So there is a classification which is the business will be run in Indonesia, and this have to be referred to the negative list and the positive list. Yes. So must be considered if the business sector selected is listed on the negative list investment. The list determines what business fields are closed or prohibited to foreign investment. Some of the positive lists can also have limitation, yeah, even the positive, but there are some limitation. And following the omnibus law, the majority of the sector is now positive, but there are still exceptions that we have to understand, yeah. So we have to decide the business sector which are open for the foreign investment businesses, or limited or prohibited for foreign investment. Yeah, according to the current presidential regulation in 2021, there are some positive lists, yeah. Here, I'm showing you some selected positive lists that foreigners can invest. First of all is tourism. Second is the wood industry. Third is on supermarket or retail businesses. Fourth is the construction machinery rental. And here we go, some negative lists, yeah, the business that are not allowed in Indonesia. First of all, growing an industry of narcotics, class 1, yeah, category 1, gambling and or casino, chemical weapons manufacturing industry, and then the last one is liquor industry. Now I would like to show you some steps in legalizing your business in Indonesia. First of all, we have to determine the company name. Yeah, we have to check in the database in the Ministry of Human Rights and Law, yeah, whether our proposed company name is allowed and available. Yeah, this is following the Indonesian trademark law. Secondly, make the deed of incorporation. Yeah, we have to see a notary. Notary should be in present and should include an article of association. And then next step is we have to get approval from the Ministry of Law and Human Rights and the submitted deed. And we have to obtain or apply for a tax ID or nomor pokok wajib pajak. This tax ID is required for securing companies' licenses, banking activities, and fulfilling tax obligation. And then we have to apply or submit our documents to a single business identity number, yeah, in order to get a single business identity number, or we call it nomor induk berusaha or NIB in bahasa Indonesia. So business licenses and location permit will also be granted one day following the registration via OSS. OSS is the one-stop system under the Ministry of Law and Human Rights and in relation to the Ministry of Investment. Mine other licenses, depending on the business sector, additional licenses may be required as commercial licenses or tourist licenses. Yeah, so here are the steps legalizing your businesses. Here you can see that first of all, you have to contact the local lawyer, yeah, asking them to provide legal opinion for you, to provide what you can do, what you cannot do, yeah, according to the law in Indonesia if you want to establish and run a business. And secondly, you have to see your notary in Indonesia to get your required legal document to run the business. Okay, I think that's all our my presentation, an explanation about the step to establish business in Indonesia. I'm hoping this would be useful for all of you, for female foreigners who would like to establish a business in Indonesia. I'm very happy to answer your questions. There is a phone number here, my mobile, my office number, and also my email. If you have further question and if you would like to get some help for establishing the business in Indonesia. Okay, Liz, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dewi, for all your interesting explanation. I am very sure that this information will be very useful for all the women that are interested in investing in Indonesia, because it's important to empower women entrepreneurs here, Mexican women entrepreneurs here. So now I open the floor for Q&A. Does anyone have any question regarding this explanation of the lawyer Dewi? We have here a question. They are asking if are there differences, requirements to establish a company in different regions in Indonesia?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a very good question. Yeah. So first of all, to establish a company, we have to have a legal entity. Yeah. For legal entity, we have to refer a national regulation and policy. Yeah, on limited liability company, or if we would like to establish a representative office. Yeah. But then I also mentioned in my presentation that in addition to that requirement, in relations to the type of businesses that we would like to establish, usually we need a specific licenses. Yeah. So for example, we need licenses from the Ministry of Natural Resources if you want to do the mining business, yeah, at national level. But then at subnational level, then you have to obtain a license from the local government in the area that you would like to do the business. Yeah, so that is a very specific licenses that you have to obtain, and this is very much challenging. And that's why I said this is a very good questions. Yeah, those related to licenses, you have to look at which level of government that the licenses could be issued in relations to the business that you would like to run in Indonesia. I'm hoping that I answer your question. That is a very good question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dewi. And now I would like to know if there's another question. Okay, so if there's no more questions, I think that we finish for today this session. Thank you very much for joining us and for all your time, Dewi. We will put this video in social media. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Liz, and everybody who's participating in this event. Thank you so much for the ambassador who's giving the speech in the beginning. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Terima kasih.